like really use my imagination and like, you know, like
but it's kind of
creeping
up. Yeah. A lot of them, huh?
Yes.
Wow. I think we do that year round too, don't we?
We do it daily. Rocher, maybe.
Maybe Rocher, yeah.
Touche.
There you go.
Wow. How bizarre.
Yeah, that is bizarre, yeah. Not Southern Idaho, Northern Idaho. You can't get it in Southern Idaho for some reason.
Say it.
Ecliptic.
I mean, that's a shitload.
Hi everyone.
I'm Janet.
I'm Jason.
We're
Gumbo Mud. We're here
for dark beer.
And today we have from the Northwest in Oregon.
We have a Capella Porter from Ecliptic Brewing.
Ecliptic. I like that name.
Say it.
Ecliptic.
Before you were saying elliptic.
Elliptic, yeah, Ecliptic.
Ecliptic.
Ecliptic Brewing, yeah, out of Oregon, which I've never heard of.
5.2% ABV.
Yeah, so low.
On the light side.
Yeah.
And it does have 39 IBUs.
Yeah, so we'll see how bitter it is, right? That's kind of not too high, but it's kind of
creeping
up. Yeah. So.
All right. So this porter is named after a bright star in the constellation Auriga. It has sweet, dark malt aromas that are followed by a nice medium body, flavors of chocolate, caramel, meld with a touch of roast, and American hops.
A lot of them, huh?
Yes.
Wow, that's probably why IBUs are starting to creep up, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is available year-round and also in restaurants and retail shops in Oregon, Washington, not Southern Idaho, Northern Idaho. You can't get it in Southern Idaho for some reason. Northern Idaho, Colorado, North Carolina, Canada, and
Japan.
Wow.
How bizarre.
Yeah, that is bizarre, yeah.
They have one connection in Japan.
Exactly.
Okay, so about the brewery, this is John Harris's brainchild. He is a craft beer icon there in Oregon. And he used to brew at Deschutes, Full Sail, and McMenamins.
I've heard of that too.
Really?
Yeah, that sounds familiar when I lived in Oregon. And I've been to Full Sail too back then too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I've never heard of that.
McMenamins, yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, I think I've been there, yeah.
So the name combines his two passions, which are brewing and astronomy. And the Ecliptic is the Earth's yearly path around the sun, and they celebrate that journey with food and beer.
There you go,
which
right?
Sounds great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to start doing the same.
I think we do that year round too, don't we?
We do it daily. We do.
Yeah, John's been in the craft beer industry for over 30 years. He started his career as the brewer at McMenamins in Hillsdale Brew Pub in 1986. Yeah, Oregon. We talked about this. Oregon and Colorado, they were ahead of everyone with the craft beers. Sure. Yeah, and then he became the founding brewmaster at Deschutes, which I used to love Deschutes.
You did?
Yeah, then they got sold.
Yeah.
They got sold to a bigger brewery, and I don't like them as much.
Okay.
But back in 1988, so when I was living in Oregon in the 90s, man, Deschutes was amazing. Yeah, all their beer was really good. Yeah, and then went on to serve at the brewmaster of Full Sail Brewing in 1992. So from 1986 to 1992, yeah, he was doing a lot of brewing. So
it's a hell of a run.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he's a member of the Microbrew American Association's National Technical Committee, past president of the District of the Northwest, Oregon Brewers Guild Board, like just all over the place. He's also won awards at the World Beer Cup and the Great American Beer Festival, and received the Brewer Association's Innovation Award in 2001, just a ton of stuff.
I think the question is, John, what haven't you done or accomplished, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a shitload.
He's done a ton of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
So fast forward to 2013 is when he opened Ecliptic, and he he brought with him his head brewer, Phil Roche. I hope I'm saying that right. Roche, maybe.
Maybe Roche, yeah.
Touche.
There you go.
Anyway, he was with Full Sail.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he brought him over, and they've been together ever since.
Yeah, that's great. What a good team, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And that's about it on the brewery. You can check out their website and look up stuff on them. But crazy brewery and crazy history of John there. So
I love their website.
Yeah.
There was one thing that stood out. So it was pictures of everybody when they were children. And then when you hover over, it shows a picture of them today. So
that's
it's
good.
super fun to see, like
Yeah.
the transformation, and the kid pictures were super cute.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah,
nice,
that's cool.
Nice touch.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ready?
Ready.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Woo, ready to get to this one.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm thirsty today.
Yeah, this one's I forget how big this is, but it's
Unusual size again.
Yeah.
The tapering of it's kind of
exactly.
different.
Yeah,
so.
looks good. So
You can pour for it.
yeah, I'll pour for you.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Looks good. Again, it's keeping in mind is a 5.2, so
Yeah, it's a porter too.
right.
So
Yeah,
whoa.
always lighter. Those splashage. Looks very good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Nice head
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, looks great.
All right.
Appearance.
So
Wow, a lot, huh?
yes, super creamy, foamy. Lots of carbonation in the head. Tight little bubbles. Definitely cream colored.
We get that kind of lighter cream and real foamy head on some of these lighter porters. Don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But looks great.
Yeah.
Like, looks really great. Looks
Yeah.
like a nice fresh batch too.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing looks flat.
And it
It's-
poured pretty dark too, I think for, what, 4 or 5? 5.5?
yeah. 5.2. Yeah.
5.2, yeah.
Looks full of life. So I
Yeah.
really like the way it looks. I'm starting with the 5.
Yeah? I think I'll give it a 4.5.
Yeah?
Not quite a 5. I like for it to be a little darker, but
You're right. Well,
that's just
too.
preference.
Yeah, I would
but it's
too.
but it's a porter. It's a 5.2. So yeah. What about aroma? I was starting to get something.
Yes, me too.
Yeah. You did. When you don't quite know.
It's a little hoppy smelling.
Yeah. With IBUs, I mean.
Yeah. That's really all I'm getting. Like,
Yeah.
kind of a little, actually smells soapy. I know I just mentioned the head looked soapy and foamy.
Yeah.
It smells a little soapy-ish. Hoppy.
Yeah. Smells very hoppy to me.
That's about it. There's
Yeah.
nothing too pronounced coming through right
Yeah.
now. So I'm going to give it just kind of middle of the road. It doesn't smell bad, just nothing too pronounced. So a 3.5 on aroma.
Wasn't that flavors like chocolate and roastiness and things
Yeah,
like that? Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not getting any of that. I'm just getting kind of like a little bitter and then hoppy,
Yeah.
right? That's what I get. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it below average. I'm gonna give it a 2.5 because I'm not getting any kind of
Yeah.
chocolate or maltiness or anything like that. I'm just kind of getting a bitter. Yeah.
All right. Are you
Caramel,
ready?
none of that stuff.
No.
Yeah. Go ahead and try. Taste. See what you taste like.
A little bit of coffee.
Just a little bit. Yeah, it's supposed to have coffee too, which, yeah, chocolate, caramel, and coffee. Man, I don't get coffee beers. You want to smell coffee. Like if you don't get to taste the coffee, you want to smell coffee.
For sure.
Yeah.
Very carbonated.
Yeah.
It's super light, which I anticipated.
Yeah, it's one of the lowest ones I think we've ever done, a 5.2.
Pretty creamy, despite the lightness of it. It's just a super, like, I do get coffee, but it's like super diluted.
Yeah.
Like really diluted.
Yeah. It's watery.
Like if you had a cup of coffee, an actual measuring 1 cup, I would say it's 3/4 water and 1/4 coffee. I mean, it's really diluted.
Yeah. And it would, if it's any coffee, which it's a little bit, like you said, there's no sweetener or
No.
anything in it. It's just like straight bitter
Yeah.
kind of coffee. Yeah. It's very, very light, watery, like you
Yeah.
said.
It is.
Yeah, and the bitterness luckily doesn't come out too bad.
Exactly.
Like the smell was really bitter.
Yes.
But yeah, it's not too bad. It's just kind of watery and
It is.
kind of weird tasting, huh?
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 3 on the taste. It's not bad, but it's much more watered down than I expected, and I really don't get much like the aroma. I'm not getting any of the flavors described. It's just a very faint bitter coffee, and that's about it. So
yeah, I give it a 2.5. It's obviously it's not my kind of beer. It's watery though, and like I'm just not getting the flavors that it said. Like there's no coffee aroma at all, no chocolate, no caramel.
Yeah.
To me, so
I'm trying to like really use my imagination and like you know, like maybe the slightest bit of like a milky creamy chocolate, but again that's diluted too. Like everything is so faint, it's really hard to get any of those flavors.
And it's super carbonated. Super carbonated. So so what do you think about the texture?
The texture's
light.
Super light.
Yeah.
You know, I would say a medium amount of carbonation. I do get some creaminess, which I like. I think that's kind of saving it a little bit for me.
Yeah.
But 5.2%, I'm going to give it a 3.5 on texture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean 5.2 is not a whole lot to work with to really have a bumped up texture. So I wrote 5.2. 3.5.
3.5.
I don't know if that's what I said or not, but 3.5 on the texture. I think it's pretty much what I would expect from a 5.2.
Yeah, I gave it a 2.5. I think it's over carbonated.
You do?
Like it's very, very carbonated to me, and it's tiny bubbles that are even like carbonated in my mouth. It's trippy.
I get that too.
Yeah, it's different than any carbonation even from a soft drink or something. I don't know what it is, but and then it's super watery to me. Like even a 5%, I don't want it to be as light as like a 3, like a Miller Lite or something, but it tastes light. So, so anyway, I gave it a 2.5 because it's just a little too light for me. So what about the finish?
On to the finish, I do like that it's dry, and despite the bitterness, it really doesn't finish too terribly bitter. So I am also going to stick with a 3.5. I just don't get any of the flavors. Like I really don't. You know, like I said, I have to like really close my eyes and pretend I'm tasting a little coffee and a little chocolate, but I just don't.
Yeah.
That's just not quite there. So 3.5 on the finish, which is kind of generous.
I'm about to say, I'm still at a 2.5. The finish is bitter for my palate, and it does linger a little bit. It's dry, but it definitely lingers to me for a little bit, and it's just kind of a weird bitter for me. So and once again, it's not my palate. I'm not crazy about it, and what more can you say? So I gave it a 2.5. So So for a total, Janet, what do you give Capella Porter from Ecliptic Brewing out of Oregon?
I gave it a 3.7, which is probably a little generous. I get excited when we try new breweries.
I know,
and I don't know. But I want to be completely honest and straightforward.
And Portland has great breweries.
The thing that I do like, I don't have an overwhelming sense of any bad taste in my mouth. The bitterness is really mild, considering the IBUs, which are creeping up there. I kind of like a lower IBU, so I appreciate that's not overly bitter. I guess where they lost me is just the lack of flavors described. So even like the watered down aspect and the carbonation, I can deal with that if some of the flavors were still coming through, but that's really where they lost me. So a 3.7 out of 5.0.
Yeah, well said. I can deal with the lightness too. I actually, we both like lighter beers sometimes. We just want the flavors. And when you don't have any flavors and all I'm basically getting is bitterness, I'm not getting any coffee, no chocolate, no caramel, not even no maltiness. Like we've had some really malty. There's none of that either. It's just kind of a watered down bitter taste, and it's not overly bitter.
Right.
But it's just, that's all you get.
Yeah, it's present, and that's kind of all that's present.
Exactly. So yeah, I gave it a 2.9 because that's even high for me, almost average, because I think this is a below average beer for me and my palate and my taste. So yeah. So Gumbo Mud review is at 3.3 for Capella Porter, which I love porters. So
I know.
And we usually get a ton of stouts, and so when we get a porter, we're so excited. So.
Definitely. Yeah. I was super excited to find this, and I would definitely try other beers from them though. Like it's, you know, like the darkness of it is nice. The head was great. You know, and it's not a bad beer. It's just not quite what I like in a dark beer. So.
Yeah, and John has so much experience. He probably brewed this specifically for something, and I would love to try some of his other beers. I hate when they say there's chocolate or caramel in it or coffee or these kind of things. And I just don't get those flavors.
Yeah.
You know, if it is the coffee, it's a little bitter coffee, but you don't get even coffee aroma. Like you just
yeah, we really didn't.
No, so that's what always bums me out when we don't get the flavors it says. So anyway, Gumbo Mud review is a 3.3 for Capella Porter out of Ecliptic.
E-commerce.
E-commerce. No. I do want to say elliptical.
I know.
Going from the gym, elliptical,
Ecliptic
Brewing out of Portland, Oregon. So thank you guys for watching this review, and click the like and share button and share it with everyone, and click the subscribe button for more dark beer reviews.
Please find us on Instagram. It's Gumbo Mud, MUDD, and we always put out a post with our newest YouTube releases and then special content along the way. So find us and follow us there.
Yeah, and thank you guys for watching this review, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.